You just need to look for every little dick signature. It's a dick sig.
It's not a watermark.
No, it's a dick sig. So, there you go. That was good banter.
That's good.
Yep.
Jackpot, baby! Come here! Let's go, give me a flipper!
All right. Welcome to episode 71 of Amateur Hour. See, I'm actually a lot better on the numbering of episodes now after we got past 69. I was on 69 for several episodes.
Yeah.
Always trying to get
Cat hair.
It's a dog hair off my computer.
It fell right back on it.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
We did 69 for a long time together.
Yeah, we did. Those were long 69 episodes.
Episodes. That's right. That's what we're talking about.
So I am here at Buffalo Wild Wings, recorded, and I'm here with, what's your name?
Insert name here. Troy.
Yeah, there you go.
Troy is here
Yeah.
at Buffalo Wild Wings as well. I made it out to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yes, and we are staring at a picture of the caption says Clyde Austin, quote, Clyde the Glide Drexler, or I'm sorry,
Unquote.
Clyde Austin, quote, Clyde the Glide, unquote, Drexler.
Shouldn't they have spelled Glide, Glyde?
I don't know. I mean, I think they should have opened another quotation and maybe explain that.
What if they had quotated his middle name? Austin?
Clyde Austin, then Clyde. It could be like a 3-paragraph thing. Okay, sorry. Okay,
we talk about that
I'll
every
talk
time
about
we come
stuff.
here. It's like this, it's been on like 50 episodes. This thing.
So we're gonna do a tournament in August 14th, 15th. Football's coming. I think version 6.
Is it 14th and 15th or 13th and 14th?
You better fact check me on that.
Calendar. It will be the August 14th and 15th.
Yeah, it's a Saturday and Sunday, so make sure you guys sign up before the Thursday preceding that weekend. Just go to the website, setxffl.com, or go to Facebook, or find Walt's number in your phone and call him. Sign up, so we're only taking 8 teams.
Subscribe to the text messaging system, and you'll get all this information as well.
Yes, but we're only taking 8 teams, so do that as soon as you can. Today, what Troy and I are going to discuss for the first segment is we're going to keep on with our How to Make Your Flag Football Team Last for a While series.
Part 3.
And this is going to be about team captains. So, Troy, do you have any initial thoughts about what makes a good team captain?
Well, obviously what makes a good team captain is a mentality that is calm, a calm demeanor, just kind of what they say is calm, cool, and collected. Someone that's going to be able to take charge of his team, keep them under control, but also let them play. Not somebody that's going to have a hammer down on his team, but someone that's going to be in charge when things start to get awry. When something in a game happens and the guys start arguing with each other or with the other team, somebody that can calm them down. That's what I see as a good captain. Doesn't have to be the best player on the team, but it has to be someone that's respected by everybody.
Sure. And I think it's even better if the team captain is not the best player on the team and not the quarterback, because a quarterback in flag football, and this is what I want to talk about in the next part of the series, it's quarterback. But the quarterback in flag football has so much stuff to do during a game, and really, if you want to get good at it, before the game, knowing plays, knowing what people are like, kind of understanding what you're getting into, that I don't really think you have a lot of time to do a lot of the team captain stuff, like collecting money, communicating with the league, all this boring, bureaucratic, administrative stuff, So I would advise, if you're thinking about starting a team, to see if you can make your team captain not the quarterback. And if you are the quarterback, you need to delegate some of this stuff because it's a lot. I mean, you have to collect money from people. You have to make sure the ref's paid. You have to make sure your team's signed up. You got to make sure personalities are managed, which is a whole other block of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I think Walt does a good job as a team captain of the Showstoppers. Walt always has people showing up, and even if they're short, they show up enough to not get a forfeit. That's an underrated skill to me.
Yeah, and I think, speaking like position-wise, I think the center should be the captain.
It's a good position. That is a good position to be the captain.
Because first of all, you always have the ball. You're the one in charge of the play, really. Like the play's not going to start until you say something. So you're the guy that's closest to the ball and is going to let the offense run. But I think you're the guy that's always everybody's looking at you at the beginning of the play anyway. So I think that being the center, just in my experience of seeing so many teams play, the center is usually the guy that would be the best captain of a team.
Right. Now, we have had, since we started our team, I was team captain for most of it. Other people stepped in sometimes because I wasn't playing or whatever. And, man, if you have a flaky team captain, like, it just doesn't work out. You know, like, you miss little simple stuff. People fight on the field.
Yeah.
You got to have that one adult in the room. We talked about this a few episodes ago of having an adult that can be like, guys, you know, we can't do this. We're going to get kicked out. We're going to lose. Simple little things like having a football at the game. How many times have we played and people haven't had a football? Right?
Quite a bit, yes.
Like,
never having flags, never having footballs, yeah.
And it's not hard to get those things. It's just you have to have someone who is mature enough to not –
to get them at the end of the game,
Yeah.
grab it all back from everybody, put it in a bag, and bring it back next week.
Yes. So basically, a team captain doesn't have to be brilliant. They don't have to know plays or anything. They don't have to be a good athlete. It needs to be someone who's going to be there almost every week, if not every single week, responsible enough to bring equipment, responsible enough to pay, and be able to calm people down when they're getting a little huffy.
And not just calming them down when there's an argument, but calming people down when it's playing positions. Somebody says, well, I want to play that spot. Let me play there. I want to do that. Let me play quarterback. Let me play receiver. Throw me the ball. It's that calming those people down to get them. We're getting the ball to everybody. You can play this spot here. You can play here. I'll let you play here at this part of the game. It's that having that mentality of getting everybody to play on the team together, not having individuals do what they want to do, but getting to play within your system that you have to the best of everybody's ability, but also calming them down, saying, you'll get the ball. I'll get you the ball. We'll just play. You don't have to get. You're not going to get it every play. You're not going to play quarterback. You can't throw the ball. It's getting people on your team to play correctly. Because if you just let people run and do whatever they want to do, that's not a good captain because you're not controlling the team. You're not getting them in the right position.
Right. And I'll tell you guys from experience, if you run your team like a democracy, you're not doing yourself a good service.
Yeah.
Because, I think the most important thing a team captain does is to tell someone no and to kick people off your team sometimes. And it's not fun and it sucks. And the people aren't, if you kick someone off, they're obviously not happy. They probably got brought on the team by a buddy. But, if you want your team to stick around, you just sometimes have to say no to somebody. We had a guy play with us several years ago, super athlete, like one of the best athletes I've ever seen play the sport. But I didn't know him, and I never let people I don't know play in place of people that have been on the team for a while, even if they're just some amazing athlete, because I think if you played for us a while, you deserve to keep your spot. So this guy got on the field.
Unless you want them to play. Yeah.
Absolutely. This guy we were on defense, and he stayed on the field and said he was playing linebacker. I said, no, you're not playing linebacker. We already have somebody playing that. You can go in on offense and play receiver because that's a place where we kind of needed somebody. Well, he just wouldn't step off the field. So we got a flag for too many men on the field. And I said, well, you're off the team. You're gone. Because, you need to treat the people that always show up well, because I don't know if that guy's ever going to be back.
Yeah.
But when you give some people like that leeway and let them play quarterback or something, they ruin your team.
Yeah.
Even if they're great, they still ruin your team because they can't get along. I get concerned sometimes when I see certain teams, the captains will get pressured to let people play quarterback or let certain people, basically have a play designed for them when I know that it's just to appease that person in like a really tight game. It's a terrible decision.
Yeah.
You got to tell them no.
And I'll tell you one of the best things that you do, since, you've been the captain of the team I've played on for 15 years now. What you do best, especially with me, is you let people say what they want to say. You let people kind of vent and say what's on their mind, and you go, okay. You shake your head. You okay, that's okay, and then you let it blow over. Come back next week, and it's back to normal. You don't. If somebody's yelling about something or wants something done, you don't succumb to it and say, okay, let's fine, we'll do it. Or you don't argue about it. You don't yell at somebody about it. You just let it blow over, come back in a week, and everybody go back out and play again. And it's usually blown over. It's usually back to normal. And I think that's the best thing you do is you don't react to the situation. And I think that's what you have to do sometimes is just let people kind of vent. Now, not like fighting and causing a scene, but letting them say what's on their mind.
Right.
Because they trust in you as the captain to say what they want. But letting them have their say, agree with them, even in some cases, agree with them. Yeah, you're right. And then let it blow over and come back next week and go back to normal. Because when that happens, usually some people just want to be heard. They don't want the action. They just want to be heard.
I think that's what most people want. And, if I kicked every person off the team when people were upset with them and went to me because they were upset, we would never have a team.
Yeah. How many times have I wanted Matt just gone off? I told him to stop. Like, how many times?
A bunch.
I mean,
y'all got in like a pushing match one time.
Yeah, and then me and Matt forget about it. The next week, and come back and play. So
it's an intense thing, People are competitive, and it gets frustrating. I've never kicked someone off the team because of performance. Because to me, if you show up every single week, we'll find something for you to do. I kicked off one guy because he had felony-related issues that I couldn't deal with. Yes, sir.
We don't need to worry about that.
No, I've kicked off people for just attitude things where I just couldn't deal with it. And there was a coup attempt one time, and I kicked off a guy because of a coup attempt.
Yes, well, two.
That's right.
It took two to finally say, no, you're done playing with us.
He got two chances, but look, if you're trying to recruit people from our team to go start another team behind my back, I
guarantee you, if he agreed to come back out and play, we would let him play.
I would let him play, absolutely.
We've let people come and play in our league that have stomped on your head and threatened to shoot you.
Yeah.
And we let them play, and they threatened physical and violence that could kill somebody, and we let them play.
And I don't mind giving people second chances, but just if you're a team captain, you can't go too far down the whole road of kicking people out and being a dictator.
Exactly.
So you don't have anybody left.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. There's only a certain amount of people that want to play flag football in our area, and when you start kicking people off, nobody is going to want to play for you, and it's going to be hard to find people.
Well, as well as I do, there are people on our team now that are still we talk to, but they don't really ever show up.
Yeah.
And I could totally delete them from the group message, but there might be a day when we have 7 people show up and that guy makes 8.
And they happen to show up, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, fine. And I'll take it. And shit, if they get real into it again and show up every single time, that's even better.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's all I have about team captains. Anything to add?
No, I think that's exactly right. It's not that it's the main part of the field or on the team, because usually the captain isn't the best player. It's the guy that got everybody together and the guy that pays for everybody usually. So,
yes. That's a boring that's like a boring topic, but God.
Yeah, I mean the captain ends up
money.
It's not the most important person on the field, but is the most important person to each team.
And that's what sucks about being a team captain, is your importance is everything that leads up to the game starting, and then you're not very important really at all for about 40 minutes, and then it's everything after it.
Yeah.
So it's preparation and then recovery from bad times.
Yeah, you've got to make sure you've paid for the league. You've got to make sure you've paid the ref. You've got to make sure you get everybody's jerseys if they haven't paid for their jersey. Get it back from them. Get their flags back. Bring them back next week. It's the tedious stuff. You're the equipment manager. You're the treasurer, the equipment manager, all that stuff.
Now, technology has made that a lot easier because back in the day, there weren't. I mean, in like 07, were there group messages? Could we even do group messages?
Not, I don't. Well, maybe. I don't remember though.
Well, I used to call everybody individually and remind them about games. Like, hey, we have a game this week. Are you going to be there?
You remember my role?
Your role was always to tell me about daylight savings time.
Daylight savings time. That was my role.
It was a necessary role.
It is now. Back then, it wasn't. Clocks didn't change back then automatically. People didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Back then, it was completely necessary.
Yeah. Now it's obsolete.
No,
I still do it.
I said it was a necessary role. It was completely necessary because we lost games before because nobody showed up to the time change. Yeah, it's amazing this crazy world what it does.
Time change. I remember when I was in college in Arkansas, my sophomore year. I got up one morning to go eat breakfast, and I was an hour early because of time change. I didn't realize it. I had to wait another hour to go eat breakfast. I was starving. It sucked.
Yeah, and the way the league was ran, remember, there's no website or anything, so the schedule and scores and whatever else happened were in Kenny Pickett's head.
Yes, everything was. Every single thing was.
Like you just had to tap into Kenny. What's our record? It's like 5-2.
We've only played 3 games, Kenny.
Oh, okay. 3-0. Y'all are doing great this year.
Yeah. I remember we lost last week, Kenny.
Now Clint did a thing whenever he started his. He had the website, which was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Now you needed a cipher stone or a
Rosetta Stone.
Like a little go-to table to figure out, okay, 1 beat 2 and 2 beat 3.
It was like the Zodiac killer thing.
You're like, it wasn't a W or an L, it's like a Batman symbol and a target. One of them meant win and loss. Although
they did have photos on their website from some time when they took them. We don't have photos on ours, do we? Do we have photos?
We have photos on the website.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of our photos are on Facebook and Twitter and then Instagram. So
we use all of them technology things.
Yes, our website. Not to toot my own horn, but our website is the greatest flag football website in Southeast Texas history.
It is.
You can look at it and tell exactly who you play and exactly what time.
There are records and champions from years ago.
SETXFFL.com.
Good, nice plug there. Go buy some merchandise from us.
Yes. Well, that is all I have to say about that topic. Do you have anything to add?
No, that was good.
Okay. Do you have your question yet?
Let's go and let's do that in segment 2.
Okay, we're going to do segment 2 here in a minute, and I'll answer Troy's question as best I can. Welcome back. Don't you usually echo it?
Welcome back.
See? There
Love
we go.
I just like that you say it every time, like people went away.
I don't know if they go away or not. I don't know what happens. What do
if
most people do?
If they go away, they don't come back, I think.
Well, okay. Thank you for sticking around. How's that?
Yes. You're still here.
Yeah. And I'm sorry.
Sorry you're here.
So
Clyde's still here.
Troy has 2 questions.
Question time.
I have not heard these questions before. I don't know what they're going to be, but I'm going to do my best to answer them in a clear and succinct way.
Okay, these are pretty generic, nothing real difficult.
Okay.
I like that we have this segment now, just Troy's question time.
Troy's questions is a pretty good segment. The people who listen to this have told me they love it.
Troy's question time. Troy's cues.
What's your question?
All right, question 1. If you could be a professional at any sport, what would you choose?
So what sport would I choose if I could be a professional at any sport in the whole world?
Yes.
Okay, that's not bad. Hey, we have a special guest real quick. Is it Demi? Yes. Okay, Demi from
Lovato is here.
Is here, and I'll ask her your question. It is, if you could be a professional athlete at any sport, which sport would it be?
Probably volleyball.
Volleyball.
Okay.
Did you play volleyball at some point?
Yes, sir. I used to play for middle school.
Are there professional
sir.
volleyball leagues? I didn't know there was professional volleyball.
I think maybe.
Beach volleyball, I guess.
Yeah, for like Olympics, I guess.
Okay.
I guess.
Olympic vol. Okay, I see that.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Or maybe basketball, but I don't play basketball.
Any advice for people that are listening to this? Just life advice.
I don't know. Love the sport.
Love the sport.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
That was a good job.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right.
She fisted me as she walked away.
She fisted me first. So the sport I would want to be a professional athlete in. Now, there's a lot that's going to go into this because.
Go ahead. That's what I like.
Well,
I want details. I want your thoughts.
My first thought is, what's it going to be like when I'm done playing the sport? Because I love football, and do I get to pick my position or I'm just there?
This is your world.
Okay. I do love football. However, I feel like post-football careers are not the best. And I think about the things that I like about life. I like to discover new things and go to different places and learn stuff. I like my decision at 37 is totally not the decision I would have when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I just would have said football because I love football so much. But now I'm thinking about it and like, man, I really think something a little bit obscure where I still made a lot of money doing it would be good. Like I like ping pong. So if I could be some kind of professional ping pong player, people wouldn't know me, so I wouldn't have that problem because I really don't want to be famous. That might be kind of fun. Baseball seems like a drag. There's 162 games a year. It's a lot. It would be kind of cool to be an MMA fighter because you only have a match every now and then, but I would have to live the lifestyle where I have to just be constantly in shape. Golf's not too bad. That seems pretty okay. Oh, man, that's a good question. You know what? I think I will do, and I look exactly like I do, right? Like
No, you're at a professional physical level. You're not you. You are you, but you're at the professional level. You're in shape. You're
Okay.
at the peak of your professional, at your physical appearance and ability.
You know what? I hate this answer. It's like the stupidest answer. I think I want to be an NFL quarterback. That would be so cool to me. The rules are now not so brutal on the quarterbacks. They still get hit pretty hard, but it's not quite like being a running back or a defensive end or a linebacker. It's cerebral, so I would be constantly mentally engaged. And I think your post-career will be pretty cool because you have a lot of good opportunities. So I'll go NFL quarterback. That's it's a basic bitch answer is what it is.
I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
I'll do that, and then as a second place golfer.
Okay.
There you go.
And I think with your answer at quarterback makes the most sense because they're the ones that make the most money. They get hit the least behind the kicker and the punter. So they have a lot of their lifestyle, their life in football is longer because
it just
of other
seems
positions.
fun to me.
Yeah.
It seems awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's very mentally demanding as a quarterback. It's mentally demanding because you have to learn, you have to know what everyone's doing. So it's very demanding.
Well, if I were a running back, I would feel like my knee could give out at any point.
Yeah.
My career is 5 years long.
Yeah, and so when I was thinking of this question, I thought, because I was a running back, I wanted to be a professional running back my whole life. And then I realized how they only play, the really good ones last maybe 10 years. Like LaDainian Tomlinson played 12 years in the NFL. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's a lot. That's
Right.
a long time. But it's only 12 years. So, I mean, he retired in his mid-30s. He's done. He's in the Hall of Fame, but he retired in his mid-30s. So you don't have – you make a lot of money quick, but you don't have that continued income over time. So a quarterback has more, so I think that would be a good one. But I don't. As a baseball player, you have an opportunity to make more money because you can play longer, as long as you can produce. If you don't produce, you're done. So baseball's a good one, except for the grind of, like you said, 162 games.
Right.
Living in a hotel half your life, which some people that's fine, but you're always at the stadium. You're always playing.
Right.
You never really have that many days off. But baseball makes a lot of money. You play. It's real. It's not physically demanding. It's mentally demanding. It's it's hard to play, but it's not physically demanding. But I love track and field. I loved track when I was in high school. But the life of a track star is only a few years because there's always somebody faster than you coming up behind you.
35-year-old.
Yeah, and you don't make a lot of money in track and field.
Right.
So my answer was golf. If you can be a professional golfer, you can play until you're 80 years old
You could do it for a long time, and
and make a ton of money.
if you're really good at it, you don't have to do that many tournaments a year.
yeah,
But
but you can, and it's because it's not that demanding, and you
Right.
make a ton of money.
no, I think golf is that's a pretty good sport to play forever and
Because
ever.
you can make consistent money for years.
It's like tennis would be fine, but man, you have to be kind of a freak to get to the level anyway, and you can't stay there for forever.
Yeah.
Like golf, these guys in their 50s,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good question.
I think, that was interesting to me because I just think, because your first initial thing is, I love football. Well, I want to play football.
Right.
But what's your thought? What's your thought process? If you can play any of them, what would you rather do? The one that is the longest lasting one is the one I think.
Well, football's only 16, 17 games in the regular season a year.
Yeah.
The basketball and baseball schedules to me are kind of crazy. Like, it's just a lot of games.
It's a lot. Basketball is
Basketball's intense.
It's
and
to me, it's just less and less fun as I watch it. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
I just don't find it that interesting anymore. I only watch it when it gets to the playoffs or the finals.
Well, there's so many games. I think they would do a good job. I think the NBA would be better if they cut the games in half. Like if every game meant a whole lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, off topic.
No.
What's your other question?
Next question. If you could live anywhere in the country, we're just going to limit it to the United States. If you could live anywhere in the country, where would you live? Obviously not Mississippi.
I was just about to say that.
So we're down to 49 states already.
If I could live anywhere in the country, where would I live? That's also a good question. I think to myself, okay, well, first off, I know that psychologically speaking, when people say they are miserable because of the place they live, they've done studies where people have moved and they don't improve. They improve for a very short period of time, and they revert back to whatever. So if you're the sort of person who is sad and you think moving will make you happier, it really won't.
Yeah.
But if I were going to leave somewhere, my thought process is I'd want somewhere that is not crazy hot in the summer all summer. I could deal with a few days, but like here, to me, it's too hot, too long.
Yeah.
I would like somewhere where it snows every winter, because I think the snow's neat. I'm not a big beach person, so I don't care about that. I don't really even care about mountains. I would like a nice river or something nearby. So maybe like Oregon.
Okay.
I think Oregon's a pretty place.
You seem like a guy that would thrive in Portland, Oregon right now.
Oh, shit.
In the
I
climate of
don't really want to be in Portland. That seems kind of wild. It would also be fun to me, because I've never done it, to live in a big city for a while. I just think that would be neat. I've never done it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want to do it forever. I don't know if your question was, where do I want to live forever, or just...
No, just where would you like, if you could choose where you could live, just maybe if it's for the rest of your life or if it's for
I'll
like
tell you what. No,
I
I have a good answer for you then. Madrid. I would live in Madrid,
well,
Spain.
I kept it in America.
Oh, okay.
We're just in America.
Okay. Then I would pick... Man, I think New York City. I think that would be completely different than what I'm used to. I've never lived in a huge city, and there's a zillion things to do there, I'm sure. and that would be a very fun experience for me. So I'll go New York City.
Okay. I've thought about this, and I love the Austin area of Texas. Not Austin itself, but the cities around Austin. I think, especially up around Lake Travis, those areas that are just, they're close to a big city you can get to. I love being around a big city because you can get to it and do whatever you need to do. But it's also you're outside of it, so you can. It's there's less activity where you live. So I like areas around that kind of place. So because I feel like Texas is home. That's just what I would live in. But I like that area. If I was to go outside of Texas, somewhere like maybe Nashville or Denver, Colorado.
Nashville's beautiful.
I think Tennessee just seems like a perfect climate because it has all 4 seasons there, basically. You're going to have a winter, a summer, a fall, and a spring. And Nashville's just, it's a busy hopping town. It really is it's really a neat place. So a place like Denver, Colorado, I like that you're going to get what you don't get here. You're going to get weather you don't get here. And it just seems like it's more mellow, too, to me, And then if it was a place that I wanted to live where I don't want to be around people anymore, like Montana. Like, Montana is beautiful. I think that would be a great place. I'd love to visit D.C. and New York and Philadelphia, but I wouldn't want to live in those places.
Well, I've been to D.C. before, and it's a neat place. Like, if anybody's listening to this, I would suggest you go to Washington, D.C. at least once in your life.
I do want to go. I've never been there. I want to go.
They have the coolest monuments and just the neatest stuff.
Are they still there? All those monuments still there?
Yeah, they're there.
Okay.
But they have really neat things. They have a World War II monument. The Korean War monument was my favorite. It's a lot of I think they're bronze, but it's 3D bronze soldiers that are just in a field. Like, it's really neat. DC, I know, has a high crime rate, but I feel like if I lived there, I could meet a lot of very interesting people, especially if maybe I had a job. I don't know. I know your question didn't mention a job, but
that's all encompassing. I'll speak of that. Like, I love Memphis, Tennessee. It's a place I've been to several times.
Yeah.
I love it. It's not a place you'd ever want to live, though, because the crime rate is so high. But it's an awesome city to visit and do things. There's so much to do there. It's a great city, but you would not ever want to live there unless you're already from there. So go ahead.
Well, and crime to me isn't a very big deal in America. People make a big deal out of it. I mean, usually if you stick to the main roads and the normal things, you'll be okay. Like in Beaumont, Beaumont's a very high crime city, but
because the police are terrible in Beaumont.
I have no comment on any of that. But really, in Beaumont, I feel safe as long as I'm in the places that I know to be public places. Most of the crime in Beaumont happens in residential areas, in areas of town that there's not really tourists, but people from out of town would normally go.
Like, my neighborhood is not. I mean, I live in Beaumont. It's an old town,
right?
But there's a lot of street traffic, like walkers, people,
right?
But it's not a high crime area. I don't think it is.
But if you came to stay here and you went down Dowling Road, I don't think you would have much of a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, Port Arthur, I think, is a little worse. I think Port Arthur, the streets and there's no divider between things, so it just gets a little complicated. But I'd like to go to, I think living in D.C. would be kind of fun. I think you'd see a lot of really foreign people,
Yeah, well, that's like Houston.
Houston's neat.
Houston's one of the most diverse cities in the world.
Well,
it really is. And I love Houston, Texas.
Yeah,
it's dirty some places, but I love that city. It's awesome. You can do anything you want there.
Well, you gave me the option to live anywhere, and I thought, well, I should use this free ticket to at least get out of Texas.
Yeah.
I'll go to Madrid if it were anywhere.
Well, we'll finish your comment, then we'll expand it out to the entire world.
If I could live anywhere in the entire world, it would be Madrid, because I'm trying to learn Spanish. And I've heard that or Barcelona. Actually, Barcelona. And I've heard that Barcelona. Did I say Barcelona?
No, that's how they say it. That's how they pronounce it.
Oh, yeah, they do. You're right.
The C is like a T.
Man, that's
Barcelona.
really good. I knew that, and I forgot that I knew that, but you got me back on track. Barcelona would be where I would go, because I've heard that's a beautiful city, and I think if I lived there for a year, I could really speak Spanish okay. So that's where I would go.
I think if I had to choose anywhere else in the world, I would choose somewhere in Australia. I feel like Australia, especially the coastline of Australia, is just amazing. And the people, you speak English there, so I could get along there, I think. So I feel like it's the closest to an American-type country. Like,
I just tried to conjure up an Australian accent, and I was going to go, hey, you want some potatoes with your soup?
that's Irish.
But that's not Australian.
That's Irish. I think Ireland would be interesting to see the scenery in Ireland. Just the old buildings. Ireland would be fun.
Some crocodiles in Ireland?
Yes, because I have.
I've gotten
I have
things.
Irish. It's it's in my bloodline, Irish. So
My family's just Vidorian. We go
right,
back
100%
centuries.
Vidorian. Yeah, so yeah, me
Centuries of Vidor blood are circulating through my veins.
too.
Oh,
It's
good.
like dust.
Those were excellent questions. Do you have anything else, travel related or otherwise?
You had a travel recently.
I went to Texas City. If y'all have the opportunity to go to Texas City, go ahead and pass on it. One of the worst places I've ever been to in my life. I really have nothing good to say about it. They didn't even mow their public parks.
COVID, because COVID. It's COVID.
Well, Jesus, I mean, the grass didn't have COVID. You could cut it. We asked some. It was for my job, and we asked someone there. We're like, hey, what's a good place to eat here? It's the only place I've ever been in my life where I asked that to somebody. And they went, there's just not really a place. It's a city.
Yes.
With like 50,000 people. And I asked someone that lived there, where's a good place to eat? And they said there's just not one. That's crazy.
High school mascot of Texas City High School. What is it?
Oh, actually, as we were driving through there, I misread the sign and I said, are they the Stingabees?
The Stingarees.
And the guy I was riding with goes, no, they're the Stingrays. I was like,
No, it's Stingarees. Not Stingrays, it's Stingarees.
I think that's how Stingrays is spelled.
But it's pronounced Stingarees.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Stingarees. That's
Well,
what it
to me, Texas City will always be the Stingabees.
Stingarees.
Go Texas City Stingabees.
Yep, they used to be good at football. They probably still are.
I don't think anybody lives there anymore. They don't mow the grass. It's the land that time
There are
forgot.
some nice areas around it. League City's nice.
Well, Kima was cool.
Kima's really cool. Clear Lake and all that NASA area. That's nice. But yeah, Texas City is. Yep, Fred Fowler from Texas City.
Texas City to me is like a worse version of Port Arthur.
Wow.
Sorry.
That's all I have to say.
That
is
is
wow.
that's what I think of Texas City.
Man, Jesus.
Okay, well, I guess we can go ahead and end on a good note then.
We just pissed off all of Port Arthur and Texas City.
Well, Port Arthur, I think you guys have actually a neat place. You just
The Lakeshore area is awesome. Pleasure Island's really cool.
yeah. There's just some issues. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. Downtown could be really cool, but nobody's down there anymore. Just like it's like Beaumont downtown too. So.
Yeah, we live in an industrial area.
Yep.
But Austin's nice, so if you want to take the 4-hour drive, go ahead and go down the road.
Or Houston. Houston's nice.
I like Houston, but to me, like, New Braunfels stuff is like pretty and nice and not
Yeah.
horrible.
Not
you go.
not horrible. That's what we're
Yeah.
looking for. Not horrible.
Well,
This,
I don't have
this
any.
podcast is not horrible.
Correct. In fact, that's going to be a tagline from now on. Not horrible.
Amateur hour. We are not horrible.
Yeah, I'll start putting that on there along with the picture of Clyde Austin, Clyde the Glide Drexler.
I want that on the shirt. I've been asking you to make shirts forever. I want an amateur hour shirt that says, "It's not horrible."
You got it.
Please make it. I will wear it.
Okay.
I want to wear it.
Well, do you have anything else?
Hashtag don't.
Okay. Demi, do you have anything else?
Thanks for joining, y'all.
Yes, that was great. Thank
That
you
was
very
it.
much. We wish you all the luck.
Good luck.
No, wait, is it we wish you all the luck?
Wish you all the success.
I always get this wrong. Okay. We wish you all the success.
Hashtag don't and good luck.